enough to make me feel like a woman. A man quickly jumped up, removed his shirt, and said, "Here, iron this." Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christina Rugnetta, and thank you for coming to my speech on gender roles in the media. Now, that joke was pretty funny, right? Yeah, but why? Why is it so funny? Haven't we come so far in society? Aren't men and women competing for the same business positions? And men are even sometimes home cooking and cleaning for the wife, right? So don't we live in an equal society? Unfortunately, no. We do not live in an equal society. In order to form a more constant understanding of how gender roles are perpetuated through modern commercial advertising, we'll first explore women's portrayal as either sexual objects or the homemaker, and then men's portrayal as either this tough guy's exterior and the breadwinner, and then we'll examine how the great effects that they've had on society. According to the article Gender Stereotypes by Lynn E. Ford, gender refers to attributes, behavior, personality, characteristics, expectations associated with a person's biological sex. While sex is biologically determined, gender is socially constructed. Gender stereotypes occur when one applies genetic attributes, opinions, or roles to either gender without the consideration for the individual. For example, children's toys. So when a little girl is given a Barbie when she's a child, and a little boy is given a G.I. Joe with a big machine gun, did they decide to play with those toys? No. They've already been determined that they're the right toys for them by society. So first, let's examine women's gender roles depicted by the media. To be this flawless beauty. Here we see Demi Moore on the right with some natural wrinkles, and here on the left, she has no pores, no wrinkles, no imperfections at all. And this is a picture that men, women, and children are looking at in the ads. It's completely unrealistic and just not attainable. Filmmaker, author, and women's advocate Jean Kilmore says, "The only message you get from the media if you're a woman is how you look. To be young, thin, white, preferably blonde and blue-eyed. If you denote from that idea in any way, you are an object of contempt." Now, the object of lust. Oftentimes we see women compared to objects. Here she's compared to a car in this car ad, and here she's compared to a Budweiser bottle. It's that idea that women can be used. A piece of cake here, another beer bottle, and of course food and burgers that we see so often in ads in the media. Now, it sends the message that women are disposable after they're used. They can get rid of them. And now, of course, the homemaker, Susie Homemaker. Now we see Susie Homemaker from the 1950s. She's cooking and cleaning for her husband, of course. And she's right here, loving right there with her clothes all on. Now, modern times, it looks like she's lost all her clothes in the ads, which says a lot about what's going on in our society right now. Now let's explore men's roles depicted by the media. Their tough exterior, the idea to be masculine. They're always handsome and dominant, never ever seen as feminine. Here we see a gun ad, consider your man, card reissued, dominant over here, and another tough, manly man. According to the article and documentary Tough Guys, the media helps construct violent masculinity as our cultural norm. Now let's talk about the handyman. He's oftentimes seen in situations that represent his power and control. And of course, let's not forget the breadwinner. Even though women and men, like I said, are competing for the same business roles, it seems like he is still represented as the sole provider in the family home. All right, lastly, let's explore the overall effects that these have had on society. Gender roles depicted on the media are they give very strong impressions, even if it's subconsciously. It promotes a lack of confidence in women and men who cannot compete with this ideal of perfection. For example, when you get older, you do get fine lines and wrinkles, and maybe you are a little overweight. But now people are turning to things that are unhealthy, like excessive plastic surgery, working out, or even eating disorders. According to the statistics released by the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, 14.6 cosmetic surgery procedures were performed in the U.S. in 2012. It's actually up 5% from 2011, which says a lot about where we are. All right, in conclusion, women's gender roles represented by the media display an image of the perfect woman, which is in reality impossible to achieve. And men's roles depicted by the media represent a tough guy's persona and attitude which actually promotes violence and control in our society. And as well as the overall effects, which are very negative, and they represent women and men. It lowers their self-esteem because it is just too much pressure to live up to this ideal of perfection. Now, I hope this speech has informed you all about the media and how it still dictates what is considered acceptable gender behavior in our society. Yay.